Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick review and analysis of these new Hasbro lightsabers that you can now buy at Target and Walmart. This version is the Grievous Hasbro board, spin action, has the two lightsabers in one. So as you can see, first thing I noticed with these is they're really super short. The length of these sabers is about 24.5 inches, so 2 feet. Great for a Padawan youngling. The way these toys are marketed to, it's a great length. But for our dueling purposes, they are very, very short. Maybe good for a Shoto? I don't know. But, you know, you can look at them. They've got a really cool design. I gotta give Hasbro credit for the way they came up with some cool futuristic designs right there. I guess it'd be historic. It's in a long time ago. And they got a really cool emitter going up there too. They're comfortable to hold. Just hand fits right there, nice and easy. One thing I don't understand about these is General Greivous didn't really have these lightsabers in the movies. He had Obi-Wan's and Adigalas and Kit Fisto's, I believe. And so the reason they designed these and calling them General Greivous lightsabers, and maybe he has a collection somewhere we don't know about, I don't know. But these are not the lightsabers seen in the movie. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because that was kind of bugging me. So let's get one of these turned on and go over the sounds. Activation is a pretty nice sound, nice solid, it's full. And then you get to this motion sensor. It's either really sensitive or not sensitive at all. So I don't like the swing that much. I'll probably eliminate that if I have an option, because you can see it's not moving and still swinging. And the other thing is the clash. It still has that flash on clash. And the clash is not very well mixed with the idle hum at all. I mean, just really horribly mixed. They sound cool, but just I'm not impressed the way that is. And then power off is pretty weak. Alright, so that's what they sound like. If the idle hum is left too long, I don't know if this is a speaker problem or if it's the board, but it sounds like a spinning fan that's hitting a wire, is the best way I can describe it. So we'll break these apart and actually see how they sound and what we can modify them, make them maybe a little better. Being that they're only $15 a piece, because you get $30 for two lightsabers. I want to go over some cool aspects of the toy, though, in and of itself. These are made to be double-bladed lightsabers. You can see that here. If you listen, there'll be an activation click, I guess. And it turns them on, and then you can turn them off, which is pretty neat. So you can fight with a 3-foot double-bladed lightsaber if you want. Sorry, probably 4-foot. And then the other cool thing is they have this centerpiece. I don't really know what the point of this is, dueling-wise, but you can see I've locked it, and the way you unlock it is you just press it, and you can just spin this. Okay, so you put the lightsabers on the end. The green one going in here. Like that. It actually changes the sound font. And you listen, the sound just totally stops. And then we'll put in this one. Also, the same sound font. So the green one changes. We'll look at that one differently. I'm going to have both of these apart in a minute. And then, if you just spin this, and turn them both on, you can actually hear that they make a really cool spinning sound, which I'm sure that'd look really cool if you're actually spinning it. And then whenever you want to fight and stop showing off, you just lock that, and that is not going anywhere. So pretty coolly designed toy, I think. The double-bladed aspect is really cool if you want to teach a younger kid how to actually begin wielding one of these. I know I'll be using this for a sibling I have and also a friend of mine who are, really short and need to learn how to use a double blade. So, those are the lightsabers. I'm going to try not to tear up the hilts because they are pretty functional and I like them a lot. Okay, so here's the disassembly. we'll just do it in fast time so you don't have to spend 15 or 20 minutes watching me take one of these apart. So. Okay, so frankly the garage is too cold to be doing this kind of experimenting, so I'm at the kitchen table instead. But I've got this board pretty much figured out. It's a pretty neat little board. Once you get rid of that really cheapy Hasbro speaker and hook it up to a better speaker, it actually sounds really decent, pretty good, I think anyway. I've got 4.5 volts of power right here, just double A's, and I don't want to give it any more than 5 volts. Because if I do that, I'm afraid it'll burn up just like the ones you get with the DVDs. Let's see, we've got just a purple 5mm LED. These two leads right here are the speaker, and I've got it hooked up to a Y twin duct two-way bass reflex speaker. And it's really big, and so it's going to be really, really loud, so you'll be able to actually hear the tones of the Lightsaber soundboard. This right here is the sensor, and that could be why it's not very responsive. I'm sure if you replace this with a TCSS momentary sensor, it would be a lot better, I think. The clash is mounted onto the board, pretty easy to see there. And then this little beauty is what is really going to make the saber worthwhile to take apart and do some experimenting on, which is it's pretty neat. But let's turn it on. The switch is mounted on the bottom of the board. Okay, so you saw the light kind of flicker on and everything. And you can hear the sound pretty decent. I'll do the flash and the clash at the same time. So it cycles between those three clashes just over and over again. Here's the momentary sensor. Alright, and so here's the really cool thing. This board has two sound fonts on it. You press this button, and that's where it's really, really bad. But press this button at the same time, it's actually mixed in pretty good. So what you could do is you could replace this with a TCSS momentary sensor and just cut this one out and have a pretty decent sound if you want to use the sound font. Now if you don't like the sound font, you just let go and it goes back to this one. So that's really, really cool. It's a momentary switch. But I think you could use a latching switch with that. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I'm pretty sure you could do it that way, just so long it's always pressed. And then the same thing, use this as a momentary to actually extra speaker. So anyway, this soundboard has two Saber fonts on it, and we can adjust them at will. Pretty darn cool if you ask me. The last thing I want you to look at, and we'll see if I can zoom in decently here, is if you watch the switch, or if you watch the LED, it'll actually fade out whenever you turn it off. So here's, it goes off. Pretty cool. So both the boards are the same, just different locations of motion sensors and that kind of thing. I think the board's pretty good board for the money. The next thing we'll do is we'll wire it up with the multimeter just to see how many milliamps it's putting out. We're probably going to have to use a PNP transistor setup just because it has the same 3 negatives and 1 positive. So we'll get that set up real quick, and then this board will be ready to go into a Saber. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do to this board is we're going to measure the output of the milliamps and current onto the main LED. This was just powering 3 5mm LEDs, and so I'm assuming it's going to give out something like 30 milliamps. So I've just got the multimeter in parallel, positive here, negative here. This is on milliamps reading, so the first number is going to be the 25 or 30 milliamps, I think. So we'll just put that there, and we'll turn it on. See what that rating is going to. You can see, yeah, about 25.3. That doesn't really matter. This shows us we need to use a PNP transistor, which is you can just find on the 2010 Lightsaber tutorial board thread that I made. So that's it.